Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we are doing a full set of pink bling nails. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm going in with a sanding band to remove the shine from the natural nails. Remember, this step is really important. You want to make sure that you remove all of the shine, but also remember that when we're doing this, we're only filing to remove that shine. We are not filing because we want to thin out the nail. We literally just want to remove the shine. And you could also do this with a regular hand file, but as always, I use my nail drill because it helps with speed. Again, this is a 180 sanding band. You don't want to use anything more coarse than a 180 because again, you're just removing that shine. And after we finish removing the shine from the natural nails, we're going to apply the tips. And sorry, my phone went dead while I was applying the tips and I didn't realize. But as always, whenever you're applying the tips, make sure that if one's too small and the other one's too big, always go with the bigger one and just follow down the sides. And for my glue, I use my KDS nail glue. And now I'm just going in with a tip cutter and just cutting down the tips to her desired length. And always make sure that you go back and check the nails against each other. Again, we're just cutting them down and making sure that they are all the same size. If one's too long, then just go back and even it out. After that, I'm going to go in with a straight edge nail clipper and I'm going to trim down the sides just because we're doing a coffin shape. So this is going to save us time when we're shaping. Again, this is a straight edge nail clipper and I find these on eBay, so I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. So once we finish doing that, we're going to go in with a 100 nail file to shape the nails, and you're going to see how easy it is to go ahead and just shape them into a coffin shape. After we trim down the sides, it just saves us a ton of time. So remember, it's really important to always try to find little things like this that help you kind of speed up the process and just, to save you a little bit of, I guess time, but also it saves you from your hand hurting, because after so much filing or hand filing, it really do make your hand hurt. So this saves you a lot and it's really helpful. So again, we're doing a coffin shape. So remember, when you're doing this, make sure that you file the sides at a 45-degree angle, filing towards the tip, and then the free edge we file at a 90-degree angle to make sure that our tip is nice and straight. Again, 45 on the sides and 90 degrees on the free edge. Same thing on the other hand. As you can see, I make sure that I line up my nail file from the nail groove to the tip of the nail, filing at a 45-degree angle on both sides. Remember to alternate from side to side. That way you don't file too much on one side and then you'll have a crooked nail. So again, make sure you alternate, do the even amount of files on each side, and then just file the tip at a 90-degree angle to have that really straight coffin nail. And another thing that I forgot to mention is that you want to also make sure that you blend the nail tips. It's not so important when you're doing clear nails because you're not going to be able to see it anyways. But if you are using the natural nail tips, you are going to have to blend them just to make them look a little bit more natural. And you do it like this. You literally just gently file where the natural nail and the tip meets to take out that harsh small line. So after that, we're going to go in with our primer. Remember, you only apply this to the natural nail. You don't want to get it on the skin because if they have any cuts, it will burn them. After this, we're going to go in with our acrylic. So I'm going to be using my Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink, which is a translucent color, so it's almost clear once it dries. I'm also going to be using some sequins, which I'll be using on a few of her fingers. Again, this is the Mia Secret acrylic system, and I'll leave the link in the description to that as well. And for my brush, I'm using my Alpha brush in a number 9. and I'll leave the link as well as the promo code. So for this ring finger, as you can see, I applied a thin layer of acrylic, and then I came back and applied the little sequins, which is like glitter, I guess, or sequins, whatever you want to call them. So I pick up a tiny bead of acrylic and then I dip it into the sequins to pick them up, and then once I place them wherever I want them, which was right in the middle of the nail, we're going to go back and encapsulate that sequence. Remember, when you're encapsulating any glitter or any angel foil or whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that that layer of acrylic afterwards is thick enough so when you come back to file, you're not going to file any of your encapsulated stuff off. So again, make sure that that acrylic is thick enough so you don't file anything off. And these sequins are actually from my website. I know a lot of people have been asking when I'm going to restock, so please just give me some time and I will be posting about it pretty soon, so just bear with me. So for the other nails, as always, I place my bead right in the middle of the nail where the natural nail and the tip meets, brushing it down towards the tip. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, your brush is really clean, because if not, if any acrylic is stuck to your brush, it would be really hard to have a smooth application. So that next bead, I placed it right below that first one, again brushing it down towards the tip. And as always, make sure that you're brushing your brush constantly so it doesn't get really dirty. After that, we'd applied another bead right above the first one, patting it down closer to the cuticle area, and then brushing it down towards the tip. As always, make sure that you clean really good around that cuticle area. You don't want any of that acrylic on the skin. So same thing, we place our bead right in the middle of the nail, patting it down, and then just gently brushing it down towards the tip. Remember, you don't want to brush too hard because you don't want to just remove all that product off the nail. As always, clean around the cuticle area. And then also remember, you don't have to stick to a certain method. As you can see, this bead pretty much covered the whole nail. So again, just look at your nail from different angles. If you need to add more acrylic, that's fine. If you don't, then that's fine too. But you always want to make sure that you have a nice stress area, which is right in the middle of the nail, a little bit closer to that cuticle area, which is where the nail gets its strength from. And then you also want to make sure that your nail tip is not too thin or too thick. And then you can move on to the other hand. But as always, I try to stick to like the 3-ball method, 3 or 4-ball method, which is one right in the middle of the nail where the natural nail and the tip meets, one right below that one above it, and then one to make that stress area. So again, always look at your nail from different angles. You might have a little indentation, a bump or lump, so just add wherever you need it. But you do want to make sure that when you're applying your acrylic, you work smarter and not harder. You don't want to have to do a lot of filing at the end. So make sure that you apply your acrylic really nice and smooth. Again, it's really important to keep your nail brush really clean, because no matter how good you are at applying acrylic, if that brush is not clean, your acrylic is going to constantly keep getting stuck on your brush, and it's just going to be impossible to apply that acrylic smoothly. So make sure that you're constantly wiping it off on a paper towel. Again, I think I've mentioned this before, but I use the Vivo paper towels, which are really absorbent, so I really recommend those. And then as always, make sure you clean around that cuticle area. And I can't say this enough, but make sure that you look at your nail from different angles to make sure that you're applying enough acrylic, or to see if maybe it's too thick and you need to stop applying acrylic. So just make sure you look at it and then you determine if it's good to go or not. So we're doing the same thing on the other hand. So for this index finger, again, we're doing a thin layer of acrylic. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that, brushing that down towards the tip, cleaning around the cuticle area, making sure that the acrylic is not on the skin. And you do want to make sure that if it is running towards the skin, that you wipe it off immediately, because once it dries, it's nearly impossible to take off. After that, I grabbed a small bead of acrylic, dipped it into the sequence. That way it's just really easy to pick it up. And then I just apply it on the nail wherever I want it, which is right in the middle. And then just add more if you want it. Just again, add it wherever you want it. And then after that, we're just going to go in with a thicker layer of acrylic to encapsulate our sequence. Remember, you want to make sure that this acrylic is thick enough so when you come back to file the nail, it's not going to fall off. Alrighty, so after we're finished applying our acrylic, we're going to go in and just reshape the nails. So I'm using my same 100-100 nail file, and we're literally doing the same thing we did at first when we shaped them, except for this time, of course, they're already that coffin shape, so we're just going to redefine that shape. A lot of the time after you apply your acrylic, it might take away from that shape, so we just want to go back and redefine it. Again, this is a 100-100 nail file, and I am using my dust collector. As you guys know, I've been using it for a while now, and it definitely collects a lot of dust, so I highly recommend it. I do have a review video on it, so I'll be sure to leave the link down in the description for those of you that haven't watched it. Alrighty, so after we finish reshaping the nails, I'm going to go in with a fine drill bit. I'm using the small barrel fine drill bit, and I'm just following around that cuticle area. As always, that's what I try to focus on at first, making sure that the acrylic is not on the skin, making sure also that I seal around that cuticle area really good to prevent lifting. Because I promise you, if you're still getting lifting and you're like, I'm doing everything else right, I'm applying the right size tips, I'm prepping the nail correctly, like I'm doing everything correctly, but if you're still getting lifting, most likely you are not sealing this cuticle area really good, which is gonna cause lifting. I cannot say this enough. I've been through this before. It was literally to the point where I was going to give up because I could not prevent lifting. And then also it could be your product. Before I was using OPI and I was getting lifting no matter what I did, and then once I switched over to Mia Secret, I was not having that issue anymore. So I would say make sure that you're following around that cuticle area first, and then if that's not working, then I would recommend that you switch acrylic powders or acrylic systems, because that could be an issue as well. But as far as the filing, again, I always focus on that cuticle area. I start on the right side, working my way around to the left side. As you can see, I just go back and forth. Remember, you want to always keep your nail drill moving, because if you stay in one spot for too long, it will cause friction and it's going to cause your client's nail to burn. So make sure that you keep it moving at all times. Again, make sure that when you're doing this, you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way you know that you've sealed correctly. Alrighty, so once we're done filing the nails, we're going to go in with a buffer. And this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left from our e-file or our hand file. So you want to make sure that you buff the nails really good, because if not, if you skip this step, you will be able to see those scratches once you apply your polish. So as always, make sure that you go back and feel on the nail with your thumb to make sure that it's nice and smooth. If not, just go back and file or buff some more. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to go in with an alcohol wipe to wipe off her nails to remove that dust. And after that, we're just going to start our polish application. So for her polish, I'm going to be using my Madam Glam gel polishes. As you guys know, those are my favorite ones. So I'm going to go in with the color Angel Wings. And again, these are gel polishes. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on the rest of her fingers except for the one with the sequins. Again, this is Madam Glam Angel Wings. I will leave the link in the description as well as the promo code. And as always, I'm using a cleanup brush and acetone to clean around the cuticle area. You always want to make sure that you clean around just to make sure that your cuticle area is nice and neat. And then we're curing each coat for 30 seconds. So I went ahead and placed the first hand under the light. I'm going to go ahead and do a coat on this hand, and then I'm going to switch them and do a second coat on the other hand. Alrighty, so again, we're gonna go in with a second coat, and to cure them, I am using my Melody Susie UV LED lamp, and again, I'm curing each coat for 30 seconds. Okay, so after we finish applying the polish and curing them, I'm going to go in with some bling. As always, I'm using my Mia Secret Gel Resin, my wax pencil, my SS6, SS12, and a couple of big bling as well. As always, just apply the glue on the nail wherever you want your bling at. You pick up your rhinestones with your wax pencil, just place them on the nail. And then once you're done, you want to make sure that you spray your nail with the gel activator, with the gel resin activator, to make sure that it helps the glue dry. As you guys know, this is a gel-like glue, which means that it's a little bit thicker. So no, you do not have to cure it. But since it is a little bit thicker, you do have to spray them with the activator to help them dry a little bit faster. So I'm just going to apply a couple more on a couple of other nails, and we're going to spray them with the activator. So I sprayed them with the activator, so now I'm going to do the same thing on the other hand. Again, we apply our glue wherever we want our bling at. As you can see, I applied it all on the nail because it's going to be scattered rhinestones all over the nail. Pick up the rhinestones with my wax pencil and just apply them on the nail. And then for the rest of the nails, we're going to do the same thing, except for, again, we only apply the glue wherever we need it. And then if it dry up before, just go ahead and add some more. And then after that, just apply the rhinestones and then spray them with the activator. Alrighty, so after we're done applying the bling, we're going to go in with my IBD gel top coat. We're going to apply that on all the nails. And as always, I cure my top coat for 60 seconds. Alrighty, so now I'm going to go back to that first hand. So as you can see, I applied the IBD gel top coat. So now I'm going to go in and just gently buff it to give it a matte finish. And then I'm going to go back and add my Elite 99 matte top coat. The reason why I did the IBD gel top coat at the beginning is because I wanted to make sure that the bling stay on really good. And I feel like with the matte top coat, if I was to just do the bling and the matte top coat, they don't stay too well. So that's why I did the IBD first, and then I went back and applied the matte top coat. You're still gonna get the really matte look, so you don't have to worry about that. But like I said, you can just do your bling and matte, but again, I did the regular top coat and matte just because I wanted my bling to stay on really good. And then my matte top coat I cured for 60 seconds as well, and this is the Elite 99 matte top coat. Alrighty, so now I'm just applying my clear pineapple cuticle oil and just massaging it on the nails and just wiping it off to make sure that we get that matte finish. And this is the final look. They turned out so pretty. The colors just look so pretty together. And as you can see, those 4 fingers with the matte top coat just look so pretty. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNailed32, and I'll see you guys next time.